And while she was passing her sentence, she said, open court, "It is the duty of every citizen to tolerate and care for one another, not to strip one another, and a woman for that matter. It is like throwing our culture to the dogs." Close quote. While she was also passing sentence, she said, "A custodial sentence will drive a certain message to people out there." Quote unquote. Okay? So she felt that a custodial sentence was very appropriate because it would deter other people from doing the same. I don't think there was ever a case of somebody being stripped naked after this one. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to like, to subscribe, to comment, and to share my videos. If you're an old subscriber, welcome back and thank you for stopping by. So Zim Crimes channel is a channel that talks about crimes that have happened in Zimbabwe, outside Zimbabwe, anywhere and everywhere Zimbabweans are thriving. And on this channel, I mostly talk about crimes that have happened in the past, that have gone through the whole court process and people have been sentenced or people have been acquitted. I can also talk about crimes that are currently in the courts, because probably we need to do a public awareness. So I do not limit myself to old stories only. Just another note, I have a Facebook page also called Zim Crimes channel. So on that Facebook page, we talk about general things to do with crime. We talk about my life in China. Yeah, we talk about a lot. My experiences, our experiences in the hands of law enforcement officials. What did we do? Where, when, how, you know? And I take you guys on a bit of a tour of my city and other cities that I traveled to in China. So yeah, do subscribe or do follow my Facebook page, Zim Crimes channel. That's the name of the page. So today, let's go back to our to today's crime. Happy Women's Month. So this is my last video on Women's Month, yeah, or in Women's Month. So this is the last video that I'm going to do for the month of August 2022, and today I want to talk about the miniskirt touts. I don't know if you remember that name, miniskirt touts. So in 2014 in December, some women were walking at the 4th Street bus terminus, which is now called the Simon Vengesai Muzenda bus terminus. I'm made to believe that 4th Street was changed. That name was changed to Simon Vengesai Muzenda. So if the name was changed from 4th Street to Simon Vengesai Muzenda Street or Simon Vengesai Muzenda Road, so I suppose even the bus terminus is now also called the same. But for the purposes of this video, let's call it 4th Street, right? So there were some women that were walking there, and one of them happened to be wearing a miniskirt. And you know how the touts are like. There are many there. So it's a busy place, and they started shouting, throwing insults, calling her names, and people started pulling down her skirt until they stripped her naked. Yeah. 40 people were arrested in conjunction in relation to this indecent assault, but only 2 people ended up standing trial for this particular case, and these 2 people were Marvelous Kandemiri and Blessing Chinodawafa. So I'll call them Marvelous and Blessing for the purposes of this video. So they ended up going to court. They were the only ones that ended up. Apparently there is a video. Yes, there was a video that went viral actually of these guys doing all these things to this girl, to this woman. But at the end of the day, 2 people were arrested, Marvelous and Blessing, and they were going through the courts. They were denied bail, and their trial date was set for the 2nd of February 2015. Now, the magistrate had said that their trial was to be done in camera. I don't know why, but their lawyer was requesting for a public appearance. Okay, but anyway, the court process went ahead. They got their trial, and they were brought to court, and they went through the whole trial. Now, obviously, they were denying. They were like not guilty, not guilty. They were pleading not guilty, and they were denying being part of those people that did that stripped that woman naked. They're obviously trying to point fingers at other people, but my understanding is that the evidence that was there was overwhelming. It was the two of them that were seen to be the last people that actually stripped her naked. Obviously, other people said things. Other people could have been pulling her, could have been pulling her hair, could have been pulling a handbag. You know, even thieves take advantage of such a situation. So these two are the ones that are said to have been on video taking off her clothes, and they had to go to court for that. Yes, they were being charged with indecent assault, like stripping a whole woman naked because she's wearing a mini skirt, and throwing insults at her and saying all sorts of words to her. Yeah, so they eventually went to court. Their trial was started on the 2nd of February, and the two were actually found guilty. Yeah, they were sentenced to prison, 12 months, and 4 months were suspended. The 4 months were actually suspended on condition of good behavior. So they were supposed to go and serve 8 months in prison. So they were sentenced in March of 2015. So by now they are done with their sentence, but they do have criminal records to their names. So when they were being sentenced, right? When they were being sentenced, the magistrate actually said that, they were unfortunate. Their magistrate was a woman. So I feel like they were really unfortunate that their magistrate was actually a woman. The woman was, so yeah, that could have been, probably it would have been a bit better if they had a magistrate who was a man. But yeah, the magistrate was a woman, and she actually said a custodial sentence was the best because their lawyer was pleading for a non-custodial sentence. But the magistrate said that the custodial sentence was the best. It was appropriate in this incident because she described what they did as barbaric, inhumane, and degrading. Barbaric, inhumane, and degrading. Yeah. And while she was passing her sentence, she said, open court, "It is the duty of every citizen to tolerate and care for one another, not to strip one another, and a woman for that matter. It is like throwing our culture to the dogs." Close quote. While she was also passing sentence, she said, "A custodial sentence will drive a certain message to people out there." Quote unquote. Okay, so she felt that a custodial sentence was very appropriate because it would deter other people from doing the same. I don't think there was ever a case of somebody being stripped naked after this one. People will say things, people will scream at you, but not to the extent of stripping you off, like, "Oh yeah, you're wearing a miniskirt, you want to be naked, okay, we're gonna make you naked." That was the situation that this woman faced, right? So also, unfortunately for these guys, the time that they went to court, it was also at a time when there were high cases of women being raped in Zimbabwe, and women being abusing women, or just doing all this throwing all these derogatory words to women because of the way they are dressed. She was actually of the opinion that women should be allowed to dress whichever way they want. I don't know, guys, what do you think about that? Women should be allowed to dress the way they want. Really, I do not know about that. But yeah, Zimbabwe police figures released 15 figures showed that 11,000 women had been raped between 2012 and 2014. And by the time these guys were being sentenced in 2015, these were the figures that the magistrate was looking at and thinking, no, if we do not send a message out there, this is going to continue. If we do not send a message out there, people will think it's okay to keep raping women and to keep abusing women. So yeah, it worked to their disadvantage. But yes, the sentence, 12 months for suspended. This sentence was very much welcomed by the human rights lawyers and anybody and everybody who supports women and children. But some people felt that it was not really stiff enough. They actually were pleading for more years, like not just 12 months, but maybe more years. Somebody actually said, the Minister of Women Affairs actually said, quote unquote, I wonder why they did not get up to 5 years, which is what the law stipulates. 5 years. That's what the law stipulates, apparently. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, probably they should have stuck to what the law stipulates. I don't know how they change these laws, guys. Like, I honestly don't know how they change the laws. If the law stipulates 5 years, how does one end up with 12 months? I guess there's logical explanations to all this, things that probably only law enforcers understand. These magistrates and these judges, they probably understand these matters more than we do. We just know that somebody has committed a crime, somebody has to go to prison. We don't know how they then determine that. Should they get the maximum sentence? Should they get the minimum sentence? Should they get a sentence that's in between? I guess there are circumstantial cases, or there are some cases that they look at certain issues. I don't know what issues they look at, but yeah, it is actually say that the law stipulates up to 5 years. So maybe if it says up to 5 years, that's the maximum. There should be a minimum somewhere, right? Yeah, so yeah, they were given, that's marvelous and blessing. They were given 12 years in prison for stripping a woman of her clothes because she was wearing a mini skirt in a bus terminus, 4th Street bus terminus. Guys, do we really need to do that? Do we really need to make, if we feel that somebody is not dressed appropriately, do we need to be stripping them off, make them naked, or do we need to cover them? I mean, what would you have done? What would you have preferred? That they strip her off, or they find a cloth and cover her? What would have been better? What would have been more of our culture? What would have been more African? What would have been more humane? What do you guys think? So anyway, so that's, you know, I've never been able to find the name of the lady who actually went through this. It must have been a traumatic experience, actually, because I remember seeing a video, and I remember that there were some guys that ended up pulling her and putting her in the taxi, and they closed so that these guys would not continue feasting on her. There were some guys some men that were humane enough to pull her, push her into a taxi or a commuter omnibus and close, so that they to kind of like push the crowd away from her. It must have been quite a traumatic experience for her, and I still don't know her name. I never got to see her face, but it must have been a very traumatic experience. I would actually love to talk to her and find out how she survived, if she is okay, and you know, how did she handle it, like going through the courts and everything, and like having people know, having a whole crowd of people seeing you naked, not because you want to, but because somebody has just done that to you. Like, I would have really loved to talk to her. I would really love to just hear. If anybody knows her name, if anybody knows how I can contact her, definitely I would totally appreciate just getting in touch with her. Like, I would love to know how she survived that. That must have been very traumatic. That must have been very, very, very traumatic. Because like the way I look at it, it's if you choose to be naked in front of people, that's you. But if you're going to be forced to be naked in front of people, then that can be easy. Yeah. So anyway, that happened in 2014. A woman was stripped off. She was stripped off for her clothes at 4th Street bus terminus, or 4th Street. Yeah, it's a bus terminus, because the touts there felt that she was not dressed appropriately. They felt that she was wearing a miniskirt, so she just wanted to be naked. So let's just help her to get naked anyway. And 2 men were eventually arrested. Marvelous and More Blessing. Oh, is it More Blessing or Blessing? They were eventually arrested. Out of the whole mob, only 2 people faced the music. The rest of the people got away with it. So according to the evidence, there is actually on the video, it shows that those were the 2 people that actually ended up removing her clothes. So they were sentenced to 12 years in prison, 4 which were suspended. And yeah, so they had to face 8 months in prison for indecent assault. Do you guys think, what do you think about this sentence? What do you think about the 8 months or the 12 months? Is that sufficient? Is it too much? What do you think? What do you think about even the reason that they were taking her clothes off, the miniskirt issue? Is it appropriate? Or do we have to say that there are certain areas that we can wear certain clothes and we can't go to certain places in certain clothes? Or should we just say, let women wear what they want? Let women have the freedom to wear what they want. Sometimes I get bothered when people ask somebody like, oh, she's been raped. What was she wearing? Normally that's why people ask you first. What was she wearing? What are we saying? Are we saying there are certain clothes that women wear that warrant that they get raped? Are we saying there are clothes that women wear that warrants that they get stripped naked? Are we saying there are certain clothes that women wear that warrants being insulted verbally, or people just throwing words at you? What are we saying? What are we saying as a society, as a people, as a community, as an African country, or as Africa, as the world? Do comment down below. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Happy Women's Month once again. And let's do what we can do to protect our women. I've seen so many stories of men killing their women over the month of August. Like, it's just so sad, especially in South Africa. It's just so sad. I actually posted on my Facebook page, like, what is causing all this? Why are men killing their women? A marriage is becoming death traps. Why are men killing their women? And people had different reasons. Some people were saying it's because of the Mjolo pandemic. Others were saying it's because so many women just hold on to these marriages even when they see that this man is no longer there. This man is no longer in the relationship. They keep holding on because they are worried about what will society say. And then they end up getting killed. Let's protect our loved ones. Let's protect each other. Stay away from crime, because if you do crime, you are most likely to do the time. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow my Facebook page, Sim Crimes channel. And I do live streams all the time on my page. I'm going to be doing more live streams because now summer is over and we're going back to school. We are going back to work. So I'll probably have some nice videos there with my students. I'm actually in a new school, not a new school, but a new campus. I'm still in the same school, but in a different campus, in a different province. So I'm meeting new students for the first time on the 1st of September. I'll be meeting new students. And yeah, I'm hoping we could do some stuff together that I'll share with you guys. My stay in China, I will definitely be throwing in videos of my stay in China. Here on the YouTube channel as well as on my Facebook page. Be blessed. Stay safe. There is a pandemic out there. Do what you need to do to protect yourselves and protect your loved ones. Goodbye.